This is the third episode of the Hashcast, and I have a super cool guest tonight. It's going to be a one-on-one, and with me I have the super awesome Katie, aka Pika. I hope I pronounced that right. Streamer on Twitch, a good friend of mine, and co-host of the Coins to Continue podcast. And tonight we're going to talk about streaming and what it takes to get into it, how to become awesome, and what you can get out of it. But because the Infinity War trailer also dropped today, we're probably going to spend some time talking about that too. So welcome, Katie. Welcome to the Hashcast. Can you introduce yourself better than I just did?
Well, thank you so much for having me. You introduced me absolutely perfectly, but for those of you out there, I am Katie, aka Pikachu Lita on Twitch and Twitter.
Awesome. So, Katie, we've known each other for a little while, mostly online. So I'm seeing you right now. People are not going to see this, but I think we started playing together in For Honor.
I think that was the first game we played. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you were sneaking around, backstabbing me all the time, if I remember that correctly.
I recall it as me defending myself. I'm pretty sure I was trying to defend myself. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I'm not gonna lie. I was being a little bit cutthroat, cold-blooded. I'll fess up to that.
Might be. That's what happens in 4v4, I guess. So what are you playing right now?
I am currently playing Monster Hunter World. Still lots of Overwatch, still Dead by Daylight, and I actually just recently, against my better judgment, started playing Bloodborne.
Bloodborne?
Yes, because it's free this month.
First ride? Yeah, it is free on PC.
Yeah.
Your first time Bloodborne in?
Yes, this is my first Souls game ever.
Ooh, how do you feel about that?
Well, the first night that I played, I was like, "Oh, I really like this game," and it's like, "This is gonna be fun." I knew it was gonna be difficult because I've heard people like complain about just Souls games and especially Bloodborne, and I've got friends of mine that have streamed it, so I knew that it was gonna be like difficult. But I was like, "Okay, this is it's gonna be fun." And then the second night I played, I streamed both nights that I played, and I was like, "All right, fuck this game." I was like, "No, absolutely not this game." And it's like, it doesn't even drive me to like get angry, because literally the only game nowadays that makes me angry is like Overwatch. But I just get so tired of dying. And it was funny because one of the last night that I played, there's this part like at the beginning of the game. It's fairly at the beginning, but there's this you have like you're running to this crowd of enemies, and they kind of chase after you. But then there's like a big like kind of goblin troll behind them that throws like this like giant like fireball kind of like thing. And usually if you like kind of like time it right, the fireball will like plow through all the enemies and kill them basically for you. But I was running away from the group of enemies before the guy had thrown the fireball, and I ended up below in the sewers. And then, like 2 seconds after I fell, the fireball landed on top of me and killed me. And I was like,
"Oh,
wow."
I know that part. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
fun.
So
that's fun.
I had a really like bad death.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a confession to make when it comes to Bloodborne. It took me almost like half a day and not figuring out what I was doing wrong because I couldn't find a lever that would bring down a ladder that would get you out of the starter part of the game. Mm-hmm. So I was there for hours and hours doing the same route without ever finding like a bonfire or whatever it's called in this game, like a And I was like, okay, fuck this game. Like I can't do this. And then I accidentally hit a button, and then the ladder came down. I was like, oh my god, I'm such a noob.
It sounds about like me when I've been playing.
Yeah. So are you done playing Bloodborne right now, or do you think you're going to give it a second shot?
No. I was saying that the other day and on Twitter that I would see it through. I don't think I'm going to beat it because I feel like in general nowadays it's pretty rare that I actually beat a game, only because of like timing and just like is it going to get thrown into my backlog? Something else new comes out, and we've got a good amount of games coming out this year that I'm interested in. So don't foresee myself beating it, but I'm definitely going to see it through, at least try to play through it some more. So I'm not giving up on it just yet. But the good thing is that it does have a multiplayer function, and people can actually come in and help you. And I've had a lot of people like offering to like help me. And really the only times I really need help is when I'm going against bosses. All the other times I'm fine. It's just I get stuck on the bosses and stuff. So yeah.
I'm pretty sure I used the co-op on pretty much every boss in Bloodborne. Because I don't care about that stuff. Yeah. I have like a ton of stuff to say about Bloodborne in the Soul series, but I'm going to save that because I'm actually going to do a panel at PAX East on Dark Souls.
Oh wow!
It's called Talking to Dark Souls Fans, the Dark Souls of Talking, and it's all about like the community and the gatekeeping and the get good mentality when it comes to the game. People are not allowed to just enjoy it. So
we've actually talked about that. Yeah, we've talked about that in my stream about how that's the thing. It's even like that with Monster Hunter World too, definitely. But it's apparently even more rampant in like the Souls community. So which I personally don't like either. So I would definitely be interested. I hope somebody records that panel so I can like watch it or hear it.
We're looking into like options for that. So I'll definitely let you know.
Perfect. Sure. Thank you.
And I swear, if you're listening, if I got you here for the streaming talk, like I promise we're gonna get to it.
Oh no, it's okay. I don't have anything else better to do. You're fine.
That's good. That's good. So, Infinity War. I just have to get it out of my system. I know you're a fan as well. So, what did you think? First impressions.
Well, first of all, when I watched it, I got chills. Yeah. This honestly been with like every anything that we've gotten, like any trailers or teasers, like it just always gives me chills. I mean, I was already extremely, extremely excited, but like it feels like with every trailer I get more and more excited, even to the point where I've already got my tickets already. Yeah. So I'm set, but I'm just God, I can't wait. I had to see that on Thursday, no exceptions. I'm not waiting.
Yeah, I'm seeing it on Thursday too, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I tweeted today that I was going to live tweet my experience, but of course I'm not going to do that because that'll be the shittiest thing ever. But yeah, I cannot wait. It looked good. I have a lot of questions after this trailer. I had a lot of questions after the first trailer, but now I probably have even more questions and theories on like what was it, like a minute, 12-second trailer. What's your favorite part so far? What were you looking forward to the most?
Like what's my favorite part of the trailer? What I'm looking forward to?
No. What like from the trailer that makes you want to see?
Gee, that's hard. I'll tell you what I'm not looking forward to.
Okay.
I have a few characters that I don't want to see die. But there's obviously no promises that that's going to happen. This could be there could be a huge possibility, there could be a very small possibility they're going to get killed. But my people that are off limits are definitely, for the most part, any of like the main characters in Black Panther. Like obviously it's T'Challa, Okoye, different people like that. Shuri, let's see, Groot and Rocket are absolutely off limits. I think that's about it. Everybody else is kind of fair game for me, but like them, I kind of like, I'm like, no, you cannot touch them at all. No. But I think I'm definitely excited for, I love the fact that we got to see like, Thanos, in his armor, and we get to see it's just like I don't even know if I can really like pick a part that I just am most excited for, because I mean we obviously know like the general premise behind the film and what's happening in the film. Obviously Thanos is looking for the Infinity Stones and basically just trying to destroy humanity. And I think I've noticed a lot of people are kind of apprehensive to watch the trailers because they are worried the trailers reveal too much. But I'm like, no, because the everything, like the information is, I guess, out there for like what the premise of the plot is for Infinity War. So I kind of feel like that there's nothing that could get spoiled from watching the trailer. At least I don't feel like it. So I think, especially, you know, even if they're not necessarily basing it off the comics completely, it doesn't have to be necessarily completely accurate. But even then, I think that it's not going to really tease anything. A lot of people were kind of wondering if they were kind of teasing Cap's death, which I think that a lot of people were already kind of thinking that he was going to die anyway. I know I did personally. I mean, the whole thing is just, I'm just excited to see all of it, even just the little parts, like even just the different people meeting up and like meeting each other for the first time, and you know, Cap getting his vibranium shield, and you know, Bucky, who's now White Wolf, like, you know, Star-Lord meeting Iron Man, and just all of that. Like, it's just, oh God, I can't wait.
So I have like very little knowledge of the source material, which is kind of cool for me because I'm going in blindly purely based on the trailers. But I feel like I'm also missing out a lot, so that's why every time I see one of these movies, I go onto like the wiki and the Internet Movie Database to get all the trivia around it. So here's my theory that's based on absolutely nothing. I think Stark's gonna get it. Like, he's the one of the people that's gonna die. And what I hope is that Shuri is gonna be the new Iron Man, but like Ironheart, like that sequence that they have now, and that would be so cool because I think they're kind of setting her up for that. I saw one screenshot where she's actually talking to Tony Stark, so I would live for that because that would set me up for the next 10 years easily if they just replace all these old characters with new iterations of them. And for like, it's hard because do not bring in like real world knowledge into this with contracts ending, and because they all say they're not going to do it, but you know, if they write them a $20 million check, are they really not going to wield that hammer again? Like, I don't buy it. But dear Lord, that trailer was good. I love Spider-Man. It is one. Tom Holland is just such a dude. That scene with him in the end when he's talking to Doctor Strange, I love that so much. Like, out of all the Spider-Mans, he's absolutely my favorite. I can't wait to see what's going to follow up on the Wakanda story after Black Panther. Because there must be more from that. Like, there seems to be such a focus on Wakanda in this movie, so there must be a whole lot of stuff going on there. So I'm very, very curious. But I can't wait, man. April 26th. I'm so happy that they moved it up a week. Because in the original week, I wouldn't be home. I would be working like on the road. I was like, no, I can't see it right away. But now I can. So lots of things to be excited about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we'll talk like after the movie comes out. We're gonna do another podcast, and then I'll get you on, and we'll get Charles on, and then I'll get Marcus Beer and Stephen Blomkamp. We'll just get a big comic book nerd fan fest.
That's gonna be amazing. I better be present for that. Like, I have to be. I will clear my schedule for that.
That'll be good. That'll be awesome. It's gonna be one giant mess, and it's not gonna be fun to listen to. We're just gonna all be like fanboying and fangirling.
Right. There's a whole bunch of garbled mess and just a whole bunch of talking. Nobody can even understand anything.
But it's like talking on the internet. That's what it's like nowadays.
Right.
Awesome.
Of course.
So we'll get into that after the movie. But while you're here, Katie, why I want to talk to you. You are a streamer on Twitch. And I don't know anything about streaming. I streamed like 5 games in my life. One was Bloodborne, where I did a level 1 run trying to fight the pig in the sewers. Have you fought the pig in the sewers yet?
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off, but I have a really funny story about that. So
tell me about the pig in the sewers.
So when I was in the sewers, because you know, I knew that there was like 2 ways to, I guess, get to that part on the bridge. You don't necessarily have to go through the sewers, but I was just trying to like kind of farm for souls and things like that. So I saw the pig And like I saw the pig multiple times because there were a few times where I went back through the sewers just to be sure I got everything. And then this one time I was like, I kind of want to see what he looks like kind of a little bit closer. So I was like, I'm gonna, kind of lure him like closer to me so we kind of, because you have to actually go down that tunnel, down that pathway to get him to like come towards you or whatever. So I did that and he got pretty close and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go up the ladder. It's like right there, and just, I guess I didn't think it through pretty well and didn't realize that, he's not exactly, as short as the other enemies. So I wasn't very far up the ladder, and I was not far enough up the ladder to where I was safe from him. So he killed me. He killed me while I was on the ladder, and I was like, fuck this guy. And I had people in my chat that had told me before that he's pretty powerful, so I was like, I'm not gonna fight him. So he just took my souls and I just left him alone after that. I was like, all right, well, I saw how ugly he was up close and I was like, all right, I answered my own question. So all right, not the way I wanted to do it, but
Of course. Now, my favorite story about the pig is like he kicked my ass like several times, and then I got a little better at the game and I was like, I'm gonna kill that pig, and I made it the whole stream to fight the pig unarmed. So there is a way if you take a different path, and I was like barehanded, no shirt. I was going in, and you can land behind him through a ladder, and then when you backstab him, it looks funny if you don't have any weapons because you basically like put your whole arm in his butt, and then he dies in one shot, and that was just hilarious. Yeah, you can get behind him and sneak him out, but that's the one stream I did. It was
I gotta try that now.
Big fan. I streamed Dragon's Dogma because that is the best game in the world, and I did my speed run there, 29 minutes. It was pretty awesome. And I stream every now and then a game called It's Quiz Time, which is like, well, it's a quiz game obviously, but you can play with the community, and that is super fun. But I don't have that drive to stream, even though I kind of wanted to, because it seems so cool and so much fun when you can interact with your audience. But for you, what got you into this whole streaming thing, from playing just regular playing games to saying, okay, I'm gonna put myself out there and start a channel?
Well, first off, I do want to say that streaming is definitely not for everybody. I even tried to get Charles to do it, and he's like, nah, fam, this ain't for me. And he does it sometimes for Shaq News, but in terms of having his own channel, like he's like, nah, I believe that's you because it's not for me. So it's definitely not a bad thing. I know a lot of people that say they've tried it and it's not for them, but it's pretty simple beginnings. When I first got my PS4 back in, I want to say 2014. I kind of got my PS4 a little bit later than everybody else, but when I first got my PS4, I found out about like Twitch and the fact that people, play video games and they post them online on like YouTube and things like that. So even though I never really wanted to do at one point in time I kind of did want to do YouTube, but I just like the concept of just like showing my gameplay like online. So I said, okay. So one of the first games that I streamed, actually the first game that I streamed, was actually Infamous Second Son, because I actually got it for free with my PS4.
Oh, that's a cool game.
I love it. I 100%. I didn't platinum it, but I did 100% complete the story on hero mode.
Yeah.
I started off like, obviously then it was just like a few friends that would come and watch. I'd have like maybe 4 viewers or something like that. But even then it was pretty cool to me. And then I remember another one of my early streams was actually the Silent Hills playable teaser. And I ended up with like 20 plus viewers, and it was really cool for me to, that was a lot for me at the time. Like, when I was used to having like 2 and 3, that was a lot.
Yeah. I just gonna add, playable teaser, is that what PT stood for all this time? Dear Lord. I had no idea what it was. Okay, so
a lot of people don't feel bad.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting, but I just want
No, you're fine. That was pretty much it. I mean, it just, like I said, it just looked cool, and I was like, okay, well, maybe people want to watch my gameplay, and then it just kind of took off from there.
Well, that's what I had because I was like, okay, I'm gonna stream. It's gonna be awesome. And then I had that group of 4 people, and like that is awesome that you have 4 people watching because they take time to look at your stupid game. And I was like talking, but it felt so empty when I was talking. I felt like I was talking to myself. And then at some point you have like 0 because they just all go do something else. And then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Like, do I just keep making stupid jokes while I play just in case someone hops in? Like, I could not get that rhythm going. Like, how do you get used to the entertainment part, even knowing that you might only be talking to 1 or 2 people and still stream as if you're having an audience of 1,000? Like, how do you get yourself in that mindset?
Well, I definitely will say that it helps that I do talk a lot and I love to talk. And it definitely took some time. It definitely took a while for me to get used to it, because obviously it's a lot easier the more viewers that you have and the more people that are actively engaging in the chat. So, whereas you have because about average now, I usually average about 20 to 30 some viewers per stream. Obviously, sometimes it gets more than that, but that's kind of my average is like 30, about 30. Yeah. And obviously when you have more viewers like that, you have more people talking to you. But then when you're at like 5 viewers or like 2 or 3, majority of the time, they're probably not going to be talking to you. And there were times where I definitely felt like I was talking to myself, but I kind of just pushed through it. Sometimes you kind of have to you're gonna kind of sound like you're talking to yourself, and you kind of have to. Not even just, even if you don't want to go as far as to talking to yourself in terms of, oh, well, what are you guys playing right now? And then nobody responds. You can even kind of just talk yourself through the game. Almost just whatever you're thinking about the game, just vocalize it. If hypothetically speaking, playing Bloodborne, you're like, all right, and I'm gonna sneak in, and you just say oh, I'm gonna sneak around the back of the pig and then do this, and all right, now we're gonna go up here, stuff like that. It's literally you're almost giving a walkthrough and just adding your own commentary. So even if your chat's not feeling talkative at the time, you just even give that commentary, and that way you're at least you have some kind of audio. Otherwise it just looks like you're just sitting there playing the game and not saying anything. And but it definitely took me some getting used to, no doubt. So
all right, so no acting classes or improv classes needed.
No.
That's good because that's I feel I had to entertain, but you kind of have to, because I think most of this right now is more personality based, because there's a lot of people that everybody can play the game. Some people are really good, but it's the personality that sells it. Do you have when you go online, is it Katie it's there, is it Pika Shalita, or is it a good healthy mix of both? Do you put on a performance? Do you feel like you're putting on a performance?
I know. No. And see, that's the thing, it's different things work for different streamers, and some people do put on a completely different persona. Maybe not as far as somebody like Dr. Disrespect would do, but a lot of people do kind of put on this persona. But for me, that's just how I am naturally. Is the same. I'm the same exact person on stream as I am off stream. The kind of jokes that I tell, the kind of stuff that I talk about, how friendly I am, that's me 24/7. And that's one thing that I love, is because I don't have to put on an act, and it's kind of a double-edged sword though, because times tonight as we're recording, I kind of said, I don't feel like streaming, because I don't have a separate persona when I stream. When I'm not feeling up to streaming, I'm not feeling up to streaming, because I can't fake it. Now if I had a completely different stream persona, then it would probably be a lot easier for me to just kind of fake the funk and go through with it. But because it's just me, 110% me, I can't distinguish the two, and so I have to kind of just sometimes say okay, I'm not streaming tonight because I'm not in the mood for it. But
I think it's interesting, because for myself, I used to I do most of my stuff on Twitter, right? So this podcast is relatively new, but when I was on Twitter, I started as a parody account for the Game Trailers cat buttons, and it was fun, but it was really neat. And then I stopped it because I was totally loading off someone else's brand, so it was not really cool. So I started doing the whole Hashtagonist thing, but I was still like doing the whole cat routine, because it was more of a bit of a persona. But nowadays it's so hard to just be like a fake persona on the internet. But when I started, it was like, okay, I'm going to be a white dude and 90,000 on Twitter and Twitch. Like, I need to have this hook. And I went with a cartoon cat, but now I'm getting more comfortable just being myself. So maybe that's just the trick, to just be for real and be yourself and not have to. I feel like I can't do this if I don't have an act, but you're right. It's probably better to just be you, be yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever works for you. Like I said, there's some people, like, I mean, again, it's I use the comparison to Dr. Disrespect because that's one of the, I guess, one of the biggest internet personalities. They're kind of like a dual personality kind of person, especially through Twitch. And yeah, I mean, it's whatever you feel most comfortable with. Like, absolutely, I have nothing against it. I'm terrible at acting. And like, just so like, that's why I don't do it. If I was better at acting, I probably would have like a occasional or sometimes a kind of like alter ego that I would like do. Cause, it's funny because I've had like streams that I've been on with like friends and stuff where we do like we try to do like voice acting, and really the only voices that I can do properly are like a valley girl from like California, some rich valley girl from California, and then I can apparently do Widowmaker's voice a little bit well, but that's like it. So it's just like, if I could do like a whole bunch of voices, or like I said, it was better at like being something I actually like I myself wasn't, I would totally do it because I actually think it's kind of cool. But I know I couldn't stay in character because I would either be laughing at myself too much, or I would just break character. So like I said, whatever you feel most comfortable doing, don't let anybody else make you feel that. But if you feel like it's kind of time to, I guess, like throw in the towel and kind of turn over a new leaf and just kind of be yourself, then whatever works.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you now to show me the Valley Girl.
Oh, fuck. No, I didn't realize you were going to ask me that. Damn it. Okay, fine.
I'm going to close my eyes and just hear the Valley Girl.
Well, I usually do this when I'm playing like Dead by Day. You don't have to close your eyes. I usually do when I'm playing like Dead by Daylight. And it's just, I just, usually just say stuff like, oh my God, are you fucking serious? And then I'll like start like freaking out. And like, obviously when I'm streaming, I have like a camera. So like when I'm like getting like hooked or something like that, I'll be like, oh my God, I can't fucking believe he hooked me. Oh my God, I fucking broke a nail. And I actually do it very well. And I actually kind of hate myself for how well I do it.
It's on record now. So.
That's the only good voice that I do, other than maybe half-ass Widowmaker. But
half-ass Widowmaker. Give me half-ass Widowmaker.
Okay, all right. Widowmaker.
It's not bad.
That's like the only thing. I can only say her voice lines. If people want me to say like non-Widowmaker stuff in her voice, it's almost impossible for me because I have no idea how to do like a French accent. But only Overwatch voice lines I can do.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
So my second barrier that I have to streaming is I'm not super good at a lot of games. Like, do you think it's important to be super good at what you show, or can you really make up for it with you as a person?
I definitely feel like you can make up with it. Make up for it is just like your personality and how like nice and kind of welcoming your stream is. Basically every other stream element other than you being good at a game. Excuse me. I mean, being good at the game itself does help. But there's even me. I'm not super good at a lot of games either. I have like, I'm pretty good at Overwatch. I'm a very good Mercy. I'm a very good healer, and a very good Roadhog. But there's certain times where I play certain characters. Like one of my favorite kind of game modes in Overwatch is Mystery Heroes, where they just give you random characters, and there's some characters where, and I'm like, I can do a Widowmaker voice, but I'm not good with Widowmaker. So it's like there's times where I have and even the characters that I'm good with, sometimes I have pretty shitty matches, and but I mean, I do think that the biggest part of a stream itself is your kind of aura and how you talk to people, how you interact with people. It doesn't matter if you're good or not. I mean, obviously people don't want to like, tune in to you running into a wall on Bloodborne and just, run into the wall for 5 minutes straight or something like that. But, but it's, I think that's what matters at the end of the day. Now, granted, do I think that, like I said, it helps when you're really good at a game? Because obviously we have like the like, perfect example would be like Ninja on Twitch. He's like one of the best Fortnite players in the world, so obviously he gets hundreds of thousands of views. So it don't get me wrong, you'll get a lot of views if you're like hypothetically speaking the best at something, but because I feel like it is so rare to be the best or one of the best at any video game, it's really, really hard. I mean, when you think about it, as many games as there is out there, like actually being one of the top players it's slim to none. I think that's like one of those rare like things or rare skills. So it'll get you a lot more viewers, but at the end of the day, as long as you have a welcoming stream, a nice stream, a chill stream, you're friendly, people in your chat are friendly, you're funny, where funny things happen, that's all really people care about, and that'll garner views off just that alone. So it really doesn't matter. It can matter, it can like bring more views, but just the initial baseline, like getting just the initial views, no, it doesn't matter.
That's part of my problem. Like I have no personality and no skills, so it doesn't leave much room for a successful stream. But I do want to talk about like Ninja later a bit, but you touched on something before that, like your community. When your community is friendly, internet communities, Twitch communities, do not always have a super good name. Like for your, like I know you can only talk for yourself, but how do you foster your community? Like how do you work with that to keep the good ones, kick the assholes out? Like what's your strategy here?
Well, first and foremost, I have a set of just standard rules for my page. Very, kind of basic. No racism, no sexism, no homophobia. Play nice, don't argue with each other, don't be rude to each other, respect my mods, no backseat gaming, stuff like that. Don't try to come hit on me, this isn't eHarmony kind of thing, so I have like my set of rules, which people don't always pay attention to, of course, because people are gonna people. But it also helps that I have great mods. I trust my mods, and they keep my chat clean. But to be honest with you, like in terms of, I guess, relative time and just like how long I've been streaming and how often I stream, I really don't get a lot of like fuckery and like bullshit in my chats for the most part. It's really civil, like 95% of the time, honestly. And my followers and my regulars that are in my chat, they're super nice. They get along with each other. They even talk amongst each other. They'll have like discussions with me, but then like obviously like address each other and things like that. And so I think that in general, I have a good audience that I really don't have to kind of, I guess, try to police or keep an eye out for. I've attracted a pretty good community and a good, well-behaved audience. But for the kind of ones that, do, because they do come in sometimes where it's, they aren't regulars. It's always the people that it's their first time there. Is because that's what it's basically always been. I don't think I've ever had to like ban someone that had been like in my chat before, or like multiple times prior, and then like they're in there for the 10th time and they say something to get banned. Like, no, it's always the people. Like, if you get banned, it's because it's just your first time in my stream. But it, like I said, in terms of relative time, it really doesn't happen that often. You know, and it's unavoidable. Like you said, the gaming community can be very, very toxic at times, and it's to be expected. But I don't have any tolerance for, you know, a lot of things, and my mods don't either. And even if I'm like busy on a game, my mods handle it, because there's literally times where I'll be, you know, I'm really good at reading my chat and I guess keeping up to par with it, up to speed with it. But then there's times where I'll just like look away for 5 seconds. I look back over, I'm like, such and such is from the room. I'm like, oh, what happened? And they'll tell me what they said, and I'll be like, oh, okay. And I'll just keep playing. Like, it's, you know, it's, so we handle it quick, fast, in a hurry. It's if they happen to slip through the cracks and they come in, they don't last very long. So yeah.
Like I've only known you as like a very kind, very positive person. Do you think that mentality that you broadcast helps attracting the right kind of audience? Because I've been rating on this for a while, where I think that negativity sells. Like when I look like at a Dr. Disrespect, and it's even in the name, like he has this huge audience, but like you're kind of catering to a certain audience. I bet his mods have a lot more trouble than yours might have, obviously because it's a bigger audience. But do you think that helps? Like, if you would take on this snarky ass persona, do you think you would still have the same kind of audience that you have now?
Probably not. I definitely think that the sort of persona or vibes that you put out as a streamer definitely influences the type of people that end up in your stream. Because, you know, imagine me not being the person that I am. Let's say I was somebody like Dr. Disrespect, or somebody that was very, I don't even want to say loud. You can be loud and still be friendly, but just let's say I was just like super ignorant, and like I was just like the complete opposite of who I am. Oh, absolutely. I just already know that my audience would probably be completely different. Like, and it's not even to say that like I would have the same viewers that I have, the same audience that I have now, or the same followers, and then additionally along with the sort of people that are in chats like Dr. Disrespect, I don't even think the ones that I've got now would really be there. I think it would be almost like a complete like paradox reversal of like, just they wouldn't be there because I'm not who I am. I'm a completely different person, so I would have literally completely different followers and a completely different audience. So yeah, I think that definitely influences who comes to your stream and who are regulars in your stream.
Oh, that's good. And I think that if you never push your own audience a little bit, you never really know what kind of audience you have. And I've known you and Charles for a while now, that you're not afraid to call out your own audience as well when they're misbehaving, and I think that probably helps filtering it out. If you're listening, like when I talk about Charles is the other host on the Coins to Continue podcast that Katie has as well. Charles is a good friend of mine, just for reference there. Do you, when you have to call out your audience, do you get the support? Is it usually like that one rotten apple? Or like I'm rambling a little bit, but I had a question a while ago. Like, how far can you let your audience go before you step in? Because like, if you're really trying to make a living here, it is probably in your benefit to not police your audience as much and kind of let it go and build a level of toxicity until you can no longer stand it. Like, how do you treat that? Like, because if you would get those assholes in your stream and maybe get a subscriber or two out of it, you would on paper do better. But like, what is more important? Keeping the community good and pleasant for yourself, or going for those big leagues and knowing that you're drawing in a little bit of negativity or bullshit into your audience?
Well, and I think that's one of the most important things about streaming, and one of the biggest issues that I have with it is a lot of people sell out because of money and because of the thought of views. Now, I'm always gonna get views because even if somebody comes in my stream once and they get banned that one time that they join, that's already a view right there. So I'm profiting off of that and in a way. Now, granted, that's probably, if I ban them that first time and they don't come back, like, sure, I may be missing out on views, but I think in the long run, it pays off, because imagine if that one person ran off 10 other people. Then in the end, I'm losing more than what I'm gaining from that one person being in my chat. And you definitely have to have a level of, because that's with mods, it's moderation. You have to, obviously, like, I'm not going to ban every guy that comes in and says, like, oh, hey, beautiful, or something like that. Like, no, I'm not going to, whatever, it's a compliment. Like, as long as you don't, like, take it over the top or something like that. Like, I don't even really jump to ban people if they ask me if I have a boyfriend. I tell them, yes, I do have a boyfriend. Like, now, if they keep it pushing after that, then I'll be like, yo, chill out. Yeah, I mean, a huge part of it is just knowing, and that's another thing about putting trust in your mods is, knowing what is inappropriate, what you can let slide, and what you won't have a tolerance for. And like I said, there's some things that, like, I don't have a tolerance for, and that's like racism, or because in certain things, like, there's certain types of toxicity that people are never going to stop doing. Like, if I was to like if somebody came in my stream and called me the N-word, if I tell them to stop, they're not going to stop. Because they're there to troll. You know what I mean? I think it's more so like the honest mistakes that people will stop about. But if they come in being like homophobic, racist, sexist, like, they're there to troll, or they're there to genuinely upset me or to cause problems. And so a warning or whatever is not going to stop them. They're going to keep doing it. And I personally won't allow that in my stream. Not because for me, it really doesn't bother me. Like, because it's like you're sitting on a computer desk, pressed about me. You're sitting at a computer worried about me. Like, I really don't kind of care. And 9 times out of 10, these people, they're going to be harassing you and stuff, and that do stuff like that, aren't going to sub to you. So you're really not missing out on anything except, like, maybe, some views, and even not even just subs. Usually people that come in and do that don't even follow you. They just give you a view. So you're, like I said, you're really, and they're probably never going to come back to your stream again. So you're really not missing out on much. Again, I think that the only time where it's okay to kind of like slide stuff under the rug or kind of give people warnings is when it's like an honest kind of mistake. Like, I've had viewers kind of like get a little like aggy with each other, and kind of, or just like joke about something that maybe shouldn't have been joked about, or whatever else, like, or maybe someone was kind of talking shit and the other person didn't take it that way, like stuff like that. Like, I've had that, and obviously I'll be like, all right, boys, like, and because it's usually mostly men that watch my streams, but I'll be like, okay, boys, like, be nice to each other, like, chill out, like, stuff like that. And that's like an honest mistake. And I even had times when I was like moderating for like this past month on Twitch, where Twitch was honoring Black streamers and featuring them on a front page for Black History Month. I would be mods in some of my friends' channels that were on the front page, and a lot of people don't know the context behind the tryhard emo on Twitch, and so they didn't know. And one girl specifically, she was Latina. She didn't know, and she didn't, she was in the chat like being like cool and friendly, not saying anything. And I don't even know what she said. I'm pretty sure it was like the tryhard emote or something. But she like said like, oh no, I didn't mean it that way, please. And I actually like unbanned her, and she came back and it was all good. And that's actually it's a rare occurrence that stuff like that happens, honestly. But it's like I said, I don't think that I would ever, I don't even want to say I don't think, I would never be one of those people that is like, okay, I'm going to allow this into my chat for the sake of views and followers and subs. Because like I said, the people that do that sort of stuff 9 times out of 10 are not going to be following you. They're not going to sub to you. And one view as opposed to alienating my community, my loyal community, people that I know were going to be there. I would rather, care about them and keep them safe. The people that keep supporting me have been supporting me for years. And you had asked another question a little bit prior to that about like, if, my community backs me up. And absolutely. When I get people that come in and like say like inappropriate things to me, like sexual stuff, like they like react. They'll be like, wow, dude, that's gross. Get out of here. Or wow, or what's your problem? What's wrong with you? Stuff like that. Like if they'll do it before like my mods do it, like obviously people that aren't mods can't do any banning, but they'll kind of like point it out and they'll respond to it and stuff like that. And they'll even cuss them out for me. Like there's a good amount of people in my chat that get a little defensive over me. So, and I love them for that. Like I said, I've got some pretty loyal followers. So
that's good. Like for me, I'm not sure what would be worse, like having no audience or having like this giant, uncontrollable audience. Like when you look at the top streams where they have hundreds of thousands of followers and subscribers. Like, at what level would you start becoming, if at all, like uncomfortable with growing out of your pace?
Well, we kind of talked about that the night that that massive stream with that with Ninja was going on. I had one of my friends that's really not familiar with streaming, like because we were talking about the amount of viewers he had, and he said, "Well, how does he read his chat?" And I was like, "That's the thing, he doesn't. Like when you have that many viewers at once, you can't read your chat. Twitch has it now to where you can create like multiple like rooms for like you have a room for subs and you can have a room for non-subs and things like that. But even then, there's sometimes it doesn't even matter because you could have so many subs that you still can't read it because your chat is moving so fast. And granted, most people don't get to the sort of numbers that Ninja did, considering the fact that night he specifically broke the record for the most number of viewers in one set stream. But like the most viewers that I've ever had at one point in time was over 400 because I got a raid from a very big streamer on Twitch. And even then, it was a lot. Now, I always try to read and say hi to everybody that comments, because obviously there's some people that come and watch that don't comment. So I didn't have 400 people talking at once, of course, but and it's a little bit more common for me now to get like raids of like 70 or like 100 some people from that happens a lot more frequently. That 400 thing was a one-time thing, and it's probably going to be a while before that happens again. But and a lot of times they'll come in because streamers usually have like a set like raid thing, like a raid, I guess, a motto. Like when they come in and raid somebody's stream, like they're like, oh, this is such and such army, we're doing a raid. Or it's the they have like a basically like a greeting when they come in and raid you, and all their followers like say that, or they'll spam like certain emotes for like the raid. And but for the most part, I'm really good about like, I'll sometimes like pause the game or kind of look over and I'll scroll up and I'll say hi to everybody. And sometimes I miss a few people here and there, and I don't always get everybody, but for the most part, I try to address every single comment that comes through. But the only thing that I don't think it'll ever get like overwhelming. The only thing that I will say that I don't look forward to is like not being able to like have those like kind of close, intimate conversations that I do with like my viewers now. So it, I am gonna like definitely, if I ever get that big to where my chat is just like moving super, super fast, I am gonna kind of feel bad that I'm not like maybe catching everybody's comments or anything. But I'm gonna try my hardest to always try to catch as much as I can and let people know, like, hey, you know, it's really hard to like talk right now. If you want to like, you know, talk to me, like feel free to like contact me on Twitter. Even on Twitter, it gets sometimes hard for me to respond to stuff because I get like sometimes a lot of mentions and stuff, but I like just I just like I said, I don't want them to feel like left out or feel like I'm getting too big or something like that to address their comments. But I'm sure they'll understand. But I think that's kind of it. Like I'll just kind of feel bad that I can't, you know, talk to them as closely as I was like when I was at like 20 and 30 average viewers. So yeah.
That's good. That's good. So we have to talk about the whole Ninja event that happened. It was for us yesterday, last week. If you're listening to this on Monday, I have to admit, like I did not know who Ninja was, and not because I'm too cool for that, but just because he came up so fast. Like it felt like 2 weeks that all of a sudden he was like the biggest thing out there.
Right.
What I like about him, what I've heard so far, is that he's a super nice dude. Like genuine. I think the other day he spent like 20 minutes talking to, because he has a young audience as well, talking about listen to your mom, finish your homework, and then you can become a streamer too. Like, and I found that so refreshing, which sounds weird, to have a massive streamer not be a super dick all the time. So that was nice. But
right.
I think that's also what attracted like the big event when Drake and a couple other Juju, who's the other guy? I forget his name.
Travis Scott.
Travis, yeah, came in and joined the stream, and also like Twitter lit up. And I saw you tweeting about that was very setting goals for yourself. Can you explore that a little bit? Like when you saw it happen, what made that? How made it? Wow, I can't talk anymore.
That's
how
okay.
did it make you feel? Yeah.
Well, I will be honest with you and say that I was actually streaming while it was like kind of happening at first.
Yeah.
But like actually like while like when like Drake got on, and I was playing with my best friend, and he was telling me about it.
Yeah.
That's how I found out. But I had already known who Ninja was a little bit before then. But like you said, it seemed like he appeared out of nowhere. But I at first was like, wow, I feel poor. I was like, he is making so much money, and like, oh my god, it's just like I feel poor as fuck. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. Like, you know, I was being serious, but I was joking at the same time. I didn't actually cry myself to sleep, but I did feel poor. But no, it. The next day, like I was able to kind of reflect on it. I was like, wow, this is really like cool. Like, not even because like I'm like huge fans of the people that he was playing with, because I'm actually really not. I feel like I'm less of a Drake fan than what most people. I mean, he's cool, but he's like, you know, not like my favorite artist or anything. But he's got some nice songs, but that's about it. But like, it's just cool the fact that like a celebrity that is not involved in the gaming and streaming world or YouTube world came over to Twitch to share something like that with him, and it generated so many views and so much, I guess, support for this one person. So it motivated me in the sense of like, I was like, wow, maybe that can be me someday. Maybe that can, you know, granted, I'm never going to be like the top player at any certain game in the world like he is, of course, but because I'm not that good at, you know, I'm not that good at anything. Pretty fucking good at Overwatch, but I ain't that good. But just, you know, the thought like, okay, well, maybe one day I can have a celebrity reach out and want to play something with me, like, you know. And it kind of motivated me to just do what I can and try to make my stream better. And henceforth why I've been, you know, trying to set up my capture card and like C920 and stuff like that. And it just, I mean, like I said, it just motivated me to have a better stream and to definitely network and reach out to, you know, and make, I guess, business relationships and see if I can maybe get to that point someday, you know, dream big. So why not?
Yeah. I saw a hashtag going around from Khalif Adams from Spawn on Me podcast, stream with a star. Like who did you pick? If you've seen that, who would you want to stream with?
My answer, I actually had responded to that tweet from Khalif. By the way, shout out to Spawn on the podcast. They're amazing people. I picked Bill Nye and David K. Harbour from Stranger Things. He was Chief Hopper from Stranger Things, and because in my head, David Harbour is like my best friend, and he tweeted me one time back when like Stranger Things was still kind of new, like the first season, and he actually tweeted me back. Now he's all done. He's blown up and shit, and so I think he kind of forgot that we're like best friends. But and I've always loved Bill Nye. I'm really big on like science and stuff, so I was like, I would have picked those two. I feel like there's probably some more out there that I would love to game with, but those were definitely like two people that I really admire. So those are my first two choices.
Oh, they're very cool. That'd be cool. So when I saw this whole thing, I started thinking like a couple of things can happen of this. One, like these big stars can figure out how much money they can make or how much reach they can get by just starting to play a game. Because I know there is some, but not a lot of big stars that will have a Twitch channel, and that can either make it easier for others because they will draw in a bigger crowd that is not going to have access to like big star streams 24/7, but they might still want to see what everybody else is doing. Or B, it's going to like kill small streamers. Like in a case like this, if this starts happening more often, and I'm not sure how your relationships are with like developers, and if you ever stream to not promote a game, but how you get an influencer copy or I'm not sure if you're into that. Do you worry about that? Like that publisher will push more for like the big outside of gaming stars, or do you think it's just going to be beneficial for everybody?
Well, I think that after the whole Ninja situation happened, a lot of people were, I think, kind of worried that like, oh, well, people are going to be wanting, like celebrities are going to be coming over to Twitch and taking our viewers and blah, blah, blah. And while I understand the sentiment or the thoughts behind that, I don't think people have anything to worry about because I don't foresee any like big celebrity quitting their business in the entertainment industry to move to Twitch. I'm sorry, because Twitch is not, unless you're somebody as big as Ninja, Twitch is not guaranteed money. There's Twitch partners who make like $100 a month off streaming, and it's not what people think it is in terms of money. You have to be kind of like one of the bigger. I know a full-time like partnered streamer who's still like, there's times where he like has to like miss out on like certain like conventions and stuff that people ask him is he going to, because of like he's just like, I just can't afford it right now. So it's like, it's just because you're like partnered or full-time streamer doesn't mean you're making bank, and I think that's what a lot of people assume. That's not the case. But there's a lot more money there's a lot more money in other industries, and by that I mean like, unless you are one of those top streamers on Twitch, like you're better off just staying in kind of your field and doing like acting or singing or rapping or whatever. So I don't think there's a worry there. And usually like celebrities are too busy to do stuff like to do anything like that. Like, you'll occasionally see like T-Pain like streams, but even he doesn't do it that often. And T-Pain's not even, very big anymore. But like Snoop Dogg, I've seen Snoop Dogg supposedly stream a game. Nobody knows if he was actually playing it or not, but like, when that was like a one-time thing. Like, and I've seen some celebrities stream, but it just happens so rarely that it's like, I don't think anybody has anything, to worry about. And, I don't like, even with like on the developer side, of like, are they gonna, do I think the developers are gonna like reach out to celebrities to like promote this game, and to play this game? I think unless it's like a huge title, like, because obviously we've got like, we see like some like developers and studios doing stuff now, like Call of Duty. Like pretty much every Call of Duty that comes out, they've got a commercial with like a celebrity in it, or they've got like celebrity like acting in it or something. So unless it's a huge game like that, I really, really doubt it, because first of all, usually that involves a lot of money. Indie devs definitely aren't going to be doing it, probably. Which, granted, a lot of the time, from what I've noticed in streaming, when devs reach out and ask for people to like be like a partner or sponsor for this game, or blah blah blah, or do like review copies, it's usually smaller games. Like not like the huge AAA titles. So I definitely don't think they got the money to be doing stuff like that. But again, I think if they do look for anything like that, they're going to be looking for it in like a commercial type sense, or like a special event, because again, these celebrities are so busy. Like you may have one like let's just say hypothetically, like some new game like God of War. They might have Shaq have like play it like for like an hour or 30 minutes or something, you know what I mean, or like they might do one celebrity stream, but usually that's about all that it is. Like and so I don't think that it's gonna threaten. I was saying the other day on Twitter, I think if anything it's gonna potentially bring more traffic to Twitch, because people that aren't really in the gaming community, or don't really aren't like in the Twitch community, or aren't streamers, or that have never really watched Twitch, they might be willing to like branch out and say like, oh, okay, well, streaming's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to watch people play video games, or watch people get scared, or watch people play Fortnite or something. So I'm gonna watch Twitch more or something. So I think that nothing but good can come from it. I don't think people are gonna be harmed the way that they think.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And that's kind of why I want to do the show this week, because after that whole event, I think there's going to be a lot of new people that want to get into streaming, and probably having no idea what they're getting themselves into. So like, I'm going to talk to Katie, and maybe she can help these guys out. So if you would have like a 2 tips for someone who just saw that stream happen and tomorrow in the weekend is going to set up and they said, I'm going to go on Twitch and I'm going to become a streamer, what are the 2 things that you would wish you would have known when you started?
My advice to them would definitely be to be consistent. Being consistent helps. The first, I want to say about 2-3 years that I was streaming, since I first started in 2014, I was not consistent because of college. I was in school. It was really hard for me to have a consistent schedule because I was working as well as going to school, and obviously school came first. So I would stream for like 2-3 days straight and then disappear for like 2-3 weeks, a month and a half, and then come back. So it definitely helps when you're consistent. I did not start being consistent until 2017, after I had graduated college. I graduated college in December 2016. So it helps when you are there consistently and people aren't kind of guessing as to when you're coming back. Now, granted, sometimes people need to take breaks or need to take like hiatuses, or you may have I have a set stream schedule, and sometimes things come up. Sometimes you're not feeling well, or and that's to be expected. And most of your viewers will tell you, take care of yourself first. Because what a lot of people don't realize is streaming is a job. It's really, even if you don't do it full time, like it's not as simple as sitting down playing a game. It is work. And you definitely just have to be consistent about it, and set up times that work best for you, but you have to be like dedicated to it in the sense like, don't pour your whole funds into it or anything like that, or whatever else, but just you have to be like in it. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to do it, and that ties in with the consistency, because like I said, people like the consistency. They know that if they're going to watch you 1 day or 2 days straight. You're going to be back the next week, and you're not going to, unless you're like out of town or sick or something, you're not going to be MIA for like 3 months or something. Another important thing is not to get discouraged. You're going to have times where you don't have a lot of viewers. We've all been there. I've been, there where I've had 5 viewers and 8 viewers. And I've had times where I've had over 100. And it gets discouraging, especially if you try to look at other people's streams and look at the numbers that they're pulling in. And you have to remember, there's different people's lives are different from yours. People's situations are different from yours. You don't know how long they've been streaming. They may know big people on Twitch. They may have a crap ton of money to have really cool things. They may be streaming a very popular game that you can't play because you don't have that specific platform or something. There's so many different factors that go into it as to why somebody else could have more numbers than you. But it's important not to compare yourself. You can always obviously like see another person and say like, okay, well, that's my goal one day is to be like this. But don't compare yourself in the sense where it's discouraging you or making you feel lesser. People like to get caught up with numbers and money and things like that. And if you're wanting to stream for money, don't do it. Yeah. Only do it if you have like a passion for it and an interest for it. I do it because I enjoy it. Yeah. I like playing video games, but I also like talking to people and interacting while I'm streaming. And I like being entertaining. And in general, I just like talking to people and speaking before people. I like to think that I'm very articulate, and I just enjoy good conversation. And that's usually what I get with streaming, whether it's amongst the people that I'm playing with or amongst my viewers or everybody that's involved. Yeah. But like I said, you definitely don't want to get caught up with numbers and money because it's very easy to get discouraged. And the one stream where you may not get a lot of followers. I've had streams where I get, because sometimes you'll get views and not followers. Yeah. Sometimes you'll get a decent amount of followers and not a decent amount, and not a good amount of views.
Yeah. The story of my life on Twitter.
Lots of retweets but no followers, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's gonna happen. I know people now that, like one of my friends that was featured on the front page of Twitch for Black History Month. There's times where I see him with 15 viewers. Yeah. But he got featured on the front page. And that was a huge thing for him, obviously. But, and so you're going to have fluctuating times. And again, you do it because you love it, but don't get discouraged. You're going to have those rough nights and those times where you're not going to get a lot of traffic in your channel. You just keep going. Keep going, because you'll get there.
I think that's good. I think that's what people need to hear when they want to get into. Because what I want to end on is, like you said, it's work, and I absolutely agree that those who want to succeed, they put in a lot of hours, a lot of work. But if you would pick one thing, like what it has brought you in the past, you've been here for like 4 years now, I think. Like what made it all worth it? Like, I'm not sure if you can even capture it in one thing, but does it bring you happiness?
Absolutely. Like I said, I enjoy streaming, and there's definitely been some nights where I've been in a bad mood, where I kind of had a rough day, and my viewers, my followers, help cheer me up. Just playing the game in general usually helps me feel better, but especially just having nice people to talk to and people that want to cheer you up and want to talk to you. It definitely helps you feel better. And I think the most fulfilling part about it is the impact that I make personally on my audience, my community, because I have people tell me all the time that like their favorite thing about my streams is like how interactive I am, and I've had people tell me how kind I am and how welcome I make them feel, and just the sort of energy that I have. And I think that's what people love about me. Like I said, I love about my streams is just, I give it, I allow for a very positive environment, especially amongst a sort of world where that's a lot of times not the case. So I think that's the most fulfilling part, is knowing that I can offer that, because there's times where people come in my streams and they're down or they're going through something. I've had people come in and ask me for dating advice and life advice and things like that, because I make them feel comfortable and let them know, like, you know, you guys, we can talk about anything. We can talk. Sometimes we talk about video games. Sometimes we talk about anime, relationships, you know, current events, kind of aliens. You know, you never know what you're gonna get with me. We even had a talk one time about this isn't a common thing, but we had the whole talk about, like, you know, how virginity is, how we think it's a social construct, and the double standards when it comes to men and women involving sex and things like that. And we literally talk about everything under the sun. And like I said, they love my conversations, and I feel like I put more effort into talking to my audience than I do the video game that I'm playing. But I like to think that I give them, like I said, a positive environment, and I arguably make a difference in their lives and stuff. And the majority of the people that have those sorts of discussions with me interact on Twitter and stuff too. And so, like, you know, I'll see their tweets, like if they have like surgery or something going on, I'm like, what's wrong? And, you know, and so they've become more than just followers to me. And so, and I think that you can't always get that in streams. So I think that's the most fulfilling part for me, is knowing that I make people feel that way. Because whether it's in streaming or in real life, I enjoy knowing that I can have that sort of impact on people.
Yeah. Well, I think Twitch is lucky to have you, because I think they're the spots where people can feel welcome and an inclusive community are rare. And to hear you talk about how important it is, I think it's important to have that. And I hope that if there's a couple people listening to this, they'll definitely check you out, because I know a couple people that I know listen. They will be looking for a place like that, and I would gladly recommend them to check you out. So I thought it was a lovely conversation. Now, I do have one segment left, and that is podcast and shill. So if you want to promote, plug, or just mention anything, now is a chance.
All right, well, for those of you out there that are listening that are interested in following me on Twitch, my name on Twitch is Pikachu Lita. That's just Pikachu and then Lita. Excuse me, Lita. It sounded like I said E there for a second. I'm sorry. And that's all one word. Literally just Pikachu Lita. Same thing on Twitter. Majority of people that follow me on Twitch go to follow me on my Twitter. I do partake in some very interesting conversations and topics of discussion on Twitter. Feel free to follow me on both.
All right, excellent. Well, I was going to ask you guys where can we find you, but we're already covered that. So I'm going to shill for the Coins to Continue podcast, which is yourself and my friend Charles. I love listening to you guys. I think what you do is again rare. You're reaching out to a not well represented group in the gamer community, and I love that. So check that out as well, the Coins to Continue podcast. It sounds good. You guys have a good setup, and still one of my favorite moments in your show was when you were having a heavy conversation, and Charles just like, it felt like he was looked up into the camera, and he was like, I know we have probably a couple of contrarians in our own audience, but listen up, no, and he just went off on his rant. And it was just fantastic. And I love you guys, and I hope you get some viewers out of this on the show.
We love you too.
Good. Katie, thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed having this one-on-one with you. If you're listening and you have questions, I hope they can reach out to you on Twitter. Check out your stream. And for those listening, thank you so much for tuning in on episode number 3. It's going to be a sound only, but it's going to sound good. And I'll work on getting these things on the iTunes and all that other stuff, but I have not figured it out. But it will be. So for now on YouTube, I am the Hashtagonist with Pika Shalita, and I hope you all have a great day. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.